Welcome everybody to Hillsboro, Kansas at Reimer Field as the Tabor College women soccer team gets ready to take on the University of St. Mary's women's soccer team from Leavenworth, Kansas. And if you're wondering why this is on now at 3, we're looking at about 3:35 and we've got about 9 minutes till kickoff. That's because, first of all, it was scheduled for 3. Then there was some bus trouble by St. Mary's on getting here. And so they just got here 15 or so minutes ago. And so they're getting a little extra time to warm up. So that's the reason for the delay. We'll go ahead and just go through the starting lineups right now for the visiting St. Mary Spires. Number 0. Emily Korenick, 5'6" sophomore goalkeeper out of Manhattan, Kansas. Number 2, Sarah Ruiz Payan, 5'4" sophomore forward from Bryan, Texas. Number 4, Bailey Zinzer, 5'5" junior midfielder from Lansing, Kansas. Number 5, Amanda Martin, 5'6" sophomore forward from Tonganoxie, Kansas. Number 7, Kendall Lilly, 5'7" senior defender from Yankton, South Dakota. Megan Fletcher, number 8, 5'9" freshman midfielder from Lee's Summit, Missouri. Number 9, Megan McMillan, 5'6" sophomore midfielder from Cerritos, California. Number 14, Paige Nagy, 5'6" senior defender from Ukiah, California. Number 17, Mary Setkowski, 5'9" senior defender from Centennial, Colorado. Number 19, Claire Wilhoit, 5'5" senior forward from Littleton, Colorado. And rounding out their lineup, number 23, Justine Brown, 5'5" senior midfielder from West Sacramento, California. Head coach Justin Seaver, University of St. Mary, in his 7th season. And assistant coach by Frank Mazetis in his 2nd season. And graduate assistant, I have to throw in Spring Jones Disney. 1st season from Tabor College, played soccer at Tabor College, and now is a GA at St. Mary's. So we wanted to give a shout out to Spring Jones Disney, newly married and living up in the Kansas City area. University of St. Mary's women are 2-8 overall in the season, 2-3 in the conference. Tabor College Blue Jays lineup, 5-4 in the conference, or 5-4 overall, 4-1 in the conference. Number 1, Ruby Ann Fines, 5'4" senior goalkeeper from Brookside, Nova Scotia. Number 5, Hannah Armand, 5'9" junior midfielder from the Colony, Texas. Number 6, Allison Cubbin, 5'4" freshman from Greeley, Colorado, midfielder, Northridge High School. Number 9, Allie Simpson, 5'3" junior defender, Parowan, Utah. Number 10, Daniela Rojas, 5'2" sophomore forward from Las Vegas, Nevada. And number 16, Carla Monroy, 5'6" junior midfielder, Las Vegas, Nevada. Number 20, Kayla Joseph, 5'3" freshman defender from Mesquite, Texas. Number 21, Courtney Yoakum, 5'5" senior midfielder, Valley Center, Kansas, by way of Butler County Community College. Number 22, Araceli Wallace Carmona, 5'8" senior defender from Yucaipa, California. Number 25, Darian Garrison, 5'5" junior midfielder, Norwich, Kansas. And rounding out the lineup for the Tabor College women, number 26, Alexis Oliveras, 5'1" senior midfielder from Little Elm, Texas. Head coach Ian Thompson, in his 5th season here at Tabor College. Grad assistant Jordan Walters, in her 1st year as being a GA. So we've run it down to 5 minutes left in this contest, and we'll be back in 5 minutes for the kickoff. We're back here in Hillsboro, Kansas. A beautiful day outside, sunny, and a little bit of breeze out of the south on a fantastic day here at Reimer Field in Hillsboro, Kansas, coming to you from the press box at Joel H. Ween Stadium. This is Rod Ham giving the play-by-play today for the soccer game. The women's game now getting ready to start. The lineups have been gone over, and we're ready for the kickoff. Alexis Oliveras on that midfield to kick off for the Blue Jays. And we are ready to go. And the action has started. 45 minutes in this first half to see if Tabor College can continue to put some victories up on the board. Already have exceeded their victory total in the conference and overall. I don't know, they're getting close to the overall from last year. And so we'll see what can transpire here this afternoon. Ball's kicked out by Tabor. Throw in for St. Mary's on the far side of the field. Tabor traveled Oklahoma Wesleyan the other day, and Oklahoma Wesleyan ranked 14, I believe, in the country, and Tabor kind of took one on the chin from a top-ranked in the country team. So looking to bounce back here against St. Mary's. Nice cross-court or cross-field pass there. Daniela Rojas picks it up, knocks it back to Allie Simpson, who couldn't get her pass through. Now ball's picked off in the midfield. I believe Hannah Armand picked that off and now gets it off out to the wing to Daniela Rojas after Yoakum had it for a while. Daniela looking to go inside with it. Couldn't quite get it inside, but now it does get inside the Tabor player. Allie Cubbin has it down in the corner looking to cross. Unable to get a cross on it now. Kicked out by St. Mary's. Allie Simpson gets it to Yoakum. Yoakum, defender right on her back, will take it right at her. St. Mary once again able to kick it out. Allie Simpson controls it, kicks it back to Araceli Wallace Carmona. Now kicked out by St. Mary's. Throw in Tabor. So like I said, Tabor College women coming off a tough loss, 6-0 loss to the Oklahoma Wesleyan women's team the other night. So looking to bounce back here against St. Mary's at home. Ball's once again kicked out. It'll be a Tabor throw again. That's going to be a free kick instead. Foul was called on St. Mary's. So far Tabor, well, now they're getting it out to the sideline, so it was out of bounds, and they'll have a throw. Simpson with a throw. Down the line to Yoakum. Ball is knocked out of bounds, and it'll go back the other way. St. Mary's throw. Tabor knocks that one out. We'll try it again. So the Tabor women coming off a tough loss, like I said, and so looking to bounce back here against the St. Mary's team that is not near as formidable as that Oklahoma Wesleyan team. Ball's picked off by St. Mary's player, kicked long. Araceli's going to run that down and kick it out wide. Gets it out wide to Kayla Joseph. A little bit too much on that. It's going to let they're going to let it run, and it'll be a throw for St. Mary's. A nice play by Araceli to kick that long and out. It just caught Kayla Joseph a little bit off her guard, and the ball ran a little faster away from her than what she was expecting. Ball kicked long now, offside St. Mary's. Be a free kick for Tabor. Tabor's back line does a great job of running the offsides trap. Something I know that they work on quite a bit in practice. Long kick by Selly goes to Alexis Oliveras up front with the great ball, the foot skills that she has. Now kicked out wide to, I believe, looked like Daniela Rojas had switched fields over there. She gets it towards the goal, but the keeper comes out and picks it up easily, kicks long with the punt. St. Mary's comes down with it. Now Yoakum comes back from her forward position to help out. Ball's kicked up front to Alexis, and St. Mary's is there. Ball's kicked long again down the sideline. Araceli's going to knock it back to Ruby in the goal. Ruby will look for someone to get the ball to. Long kick up to Daniela Rojas. Fantastic trap by Danny, and she gets it just a hair away from Hannah Armand. Now Hannah Armand looks for the through ball to Allie Coven. She's cut off by the defender. Otherwise, that would have been a great through ball. Hannah Armand has such great touch from the midfield. So great idea, just a little unlucky. Tabor now controls it again. Alexis in the midfield, kicks it back to Yoakum. Yoakum unable to control it. Now Darian Garrison competing for the ball at midfield. St. Mary's controlling at midfield, now gets it up the sideline, looking for the through ball, stopped by Allie Simpson. Now out wide to Allie, up to Allie Coven. So Allie to Allie connection. Now Allie Coven takes it on the sideline, beats her defender, now runs down the sideline, is cut off by a defender, now heads toward middle of the goal, now has to look around for somebody to knock it back to. Gets it to Simpson, who had made a run up front, now kicked out of bounds by Simpson. Throw in St. Mary's. Good idea by Tabor, but just not enough support coming up from the back that time. And long ball pass to the middle of the field. Kayla Joseph is on it. Kayla's parents from Fort Worth, Texas, drove all the way up today for the game to surprise Kayla, so couldn't have picked a better day. St. Mary's controls the ball, now knocked away by Garrison. Yoakum loses it. Now Simpson knocks it away. Long ball by St. Mary's, unable to get control of it, and Carla Monroy kicks it long, and it's going to go all the way back to the keeper. Could have been an opportunity there, possibly, if there had been somebody just making a crazy run out of the blue, but did not happen. So now St. Mary's controls at midfield. St. Mary's now on the far side, kicks it out. It'll be a throw in Tabor. Now Allie Coven and Danny Rojas have switched sides. Now a through ball to Danny Rojas. She's got the ball one-on-one with the keeper, and now the defender comes in, knocks it out. It'll be a corner for Tabor. It looked like Danny was ready to unload right there and ready to pull the trigger, and the defender came in just at the last second and knocked it out. Great through ball there by Tabor College. Courtney Yoakum will head for the corner kick. Araceli, as usual, will get up in, comes from her back row to get in there and see if she can get ahead on the ball here. Beautiful corner by Courtney right in the goal mouth. Looks like it's headed out of danger by St. Mary and out of bounds. Courtney will wind up and try another one. It's a great kick that time, just in the perfect spot. Nobody from Tabor able to get their head on that one. She might put just a little bit more on this one, see if she can get it clear back to Araceli. Well, once again, it goes right over everybody. Nobody's making a run. Nobody on the backside for Tabor. And so it's kicked out of bounds again by St. Mary's. Courtney will switch fields and try a corner from the other side. Two great balls right in the goal mouth. Goalie has stayed in. Her spot has not come out, and Tabor just has not got a head on that, and it looked like somebody easily could have made a run on the backside there and had an easy goal. Ball's coming in again. A little sidewinder. It's over everybody's head. That'll go out of bounds and be a throw in for... It'll be a goal kick for St. Mary's, it looks like. So just a little bit, the wind coming a little bit out of the southwest, and that elevated Courtney's corner over everybody. Now goal kick for St. Mary's. Comes out to about the 30-yard line. Now they'll back up and set up their attack from the back row. Darian Garrison steps in front. Tabor keeping St. Mary's down in their end of the field on defense. Now we've got a foul on St. Mary's, and Tabor will have a free kick. Looked like Allie Cubbin went down there being attacked from behind, and so Tabor gets a free kick. And once again, number 21, Courtney Yoakum on the far side will get that ball in position for somebody from Tabor to get a head or a foot on it and get the scoring started here in the first half. Ball's kicked towards Danny Rojas. Danny trying to get a hold of it or a grasp on it. It does not. Now once again, Garrison steps in front. Danny Rojas picks it up loose ball. Now Yoakum with a nice play gets it. Tries to get it to Alexis. And now St. Mary's controls for the time being. Long ball. Selly is right there. Picks it up. Kicks it back, and now she finds Danny Rojas on this far side. She looks for a through ball, and it's just miscommunication between the two players, and it'll be a throw in for St. Mary's deep in their corner. Tabor doing a fantastic job of keeping St. Mary's on their heels right now. Most of the play has been in the Tabor part of the field. St. Mary's having to play defense. Throw in now goes to Tabor, but kicked out of bounds by Alexis Oliveris, just barely. Throw in St. Mary. Let's see if Tabor can just keep them down here. Nice job with Yoakum on the header. Now St. Mary's will try to get out of their section here for their part of the field for a little bit. Now ahead by Simpson. Now Oliveris heads it, and it goes out of bounds. Throw in St. Mary's again. So like I said, St. Mary's is just having trouble getting out of their end of the field on defense, and Tabor doing a good job of pinning them down there. Now it's ball's out of bounds on St. Mary's. It'll go back to Tabor on a throw. So been a lot of throw-ins here. It'd be a good time to kind of rethink and switch fields. Courtney Yoakum looking for the ball, then it's thrown down the line. Yoakum comes up with it, but it goes out of bounds. Throw in for St. Mary's. Darian Garrison now picks it up, gets it off to Yoakum. Yoakum looking middle of the field. Great pass to Hen Armand. Hen Armand gets it up to Allie Cubbin, who slips and falls down, and a foul is called. Going to be a great spot here for Tabor women to convert here on a free kick. And since we are playing on a football field, we're at the 20-yard line, which is 30 yards out from the goal being on the end line. So Courtney Yoakum and Alexis Oliveris are lined up over the ball. This would be a perfect opportunity to just go for the hit one right into the goal. Little indirect kick, and it's a goal! For Tabor College. A little tap by Alexis Oliveris, and Yoakum just slammed it into the back of the goal. Awesome shot by Courtney Yoakum. Return address right in the corner, and that's a great play by Tabor. Great shot there. Great kick by Courtney Yoakum to get that in the back of the net. Tabor up 1-0 now. Have had the ball in the offensive part of the field entire game. It's 31 minutes left in this half. So most of this once again has been played on one end of the field. Tabor now controls, knocks it back. Araceli looking for somewhere to go. Gets it to Darian Garrison. She can turn. Nobody around her. Kicks it up to Alexis Oliveris as the center forward. Now Yoakum tries to head it to her teammate. Ball goes out of bounds, and Simpson with a throw. Allie Simpson, number 9 from Parowan, Utah, with a throw at midfield. Long pass to Alexis. Alexis knocks it back towards the Tabor end, but it's picked up by Simpson again, and now St. Mary's will control. Long high ball was kicked by St. Mary's back line, and the ball catches the wind and just runs out of bounds. So that wind isn't that terribly strong, but it's breezy enough. If you get it up in the air, it will take off. Throw for St. Mary's on the far side. Yoakum comes in, picks it off. Kayla Joseph. Foul called. So it looked like Tabor had control there, but a foul called on Yoakum. St. Mary's will have a free kick. Nice kick there for St. Mary's. They get it all the way down to their end of the field, but once again, Tabor's right there to knock it away, and it's just hard to get past that back line of Tabor. Now Yoakum fighting for the ball. It's picked up by Hannah Armand. A quick step on the ball. Now the ball's passed back towards Yoakum on the sideline on the far side, and she could not reach it. Looked like caught her cleat on the turf almost. Kayla Joseph now steals the ball, gets it to Yoakum. Now back to Joseph on a great give and go. Now she looks up front for Alexis. Alexis tries to get it back to Yoakum, or to Joseph, but it's kicked out of bounds. Joseph quickly back. Monroe comes over to help out. Now ball's kicked out. Tabor will control it. Allie Coven back to Yoakum. Now Yoakum to the midfield to Hannah Armand. Hannah Armand has time. She's looking for Danny up long. Danny's loose. Danny's going to run that down. Defender's coming quick on her now, and she'll have to wait for her teammates to catch up. Crosses the ball over, looking for Cubbin on the far side. It's picked off by St. Mary's and kicked up in the air, but Alexis Oliveras is on it. Looks for Cubbin again. Now Cubbin kicks it off of a St. Mary's player. Goes across the end line. It should be a corner for Tabor College, and it is. So good hustle play there by Tabor College and Allie Cubbin to kick that off the defender. And Courtney Yoakum, number 21, senior from Valley Center, will head over to the corner again. So far, she has kicked from that corner 2 corner kicks that were just perfect in the goal mouth. The one could have been a goal if we'd have had anybody on the backside, and it looks like we're setting up a little bit different play here for the corner, and it looks like we will maybe send somebody to that far post this time. Beautiful ball again by Courtney Yoakum. Nobody from St. Mary's was going to the ball. Selly jumped in and was short hop kicked at and sailed over the goal, but it could have been a great opportunity there again for Tabor College. Goal kick for St. Mary's. Ball kicked towards the sideline, trapped nicely by number 8 for St. Mary's. Dropped it back to the back line, now out of bounds. Tabor throw in St. Mary's. So St. Mary's really has just several times kicked the ball long and hoped for the best. Tabor's done more of a mounting of an attack like they're doing here. Now Hannah Armand at the middle of the field looks for Yoakum. Yoakum now kicks it back to Monroy. Monroy now looks far side to Joseph. Great ball reversal there. Joseph now with nobody on her brings it upfield. Kicks it up towards Cubbin, but kicked out of bounds there knocked out of bounds by St. Mary's. It'll be a throw in Joseph on the far side. Joseph to Oliveras. Oliveras does a little kick over the top, still looking to get past her defender. Now kicks it towards the goal, headed out by St. Mary's, but Cubbin tried to head it back in. So the linesman raised his flag for a second, but then dropped it. So now Darian Garrison trying to get it to Oliveras. Ball's being kicked around by several different players in the midfield now. Kicked long. Araceli gets control of it, drops it back to Monroy. Monroe gets it out to Daniela Rojas on this near side. Danny looking for a pass down the middle, and it's picked away by St. Mary's, but then Hannah Armand gets the rebound, but the ball gets away from her. Now Kayla Joseph on the far end kicks it off of a St. Mary's player. She'll have a throw down that far side. Hannah Armand picks it up now to Cubbin. Now kicked out again by St. Mary's. Joseph will, oh no, it's St. Mary's ball. Nice long pass up the sideline for St. Mary's to the corner. Tabor defenders back, making the forward pull the ball back out to midfield. Now it's tried to pass inside. Tabor defenders are there. Danny Rojas has the ball and will keep it. Nobody's pressuring her now. She gets it to Yoakum, who tries to get it to Oliveris. And St. Mary's player was able to step in front. Now Allie Simpson gets it back to Danielle Rojas. Danielle gets it up to Oliveris, or tries to. St. Mary's defender there and able to knock it back to the goalie. Once again, Simpson steps in front as a defender, gets it to Oliveris, off to Rojas. Rojas looking at the middle of the field, now pulls it back to Araceli. Araceli knocks it back even further to Monroy, and now Tabor will set up their attack. Yoakum pressured from behind. Got a handball on Rojas. St. Mary's will get a free kick. Looked like Tabor was mounting a pretty good attack there, and then just couldn't maintain it. Long kick again by St. Mary's player. Kayla Joseph knocks it out, and there's a foul called. Araceli Wallace will now kick long, or kick for Tabor, looking to kick this long. Ball didn't get up in the air, and the St. Mary's player is able to step on it, or step in front of it. Now it's kicked out wide to Tabor, off to Yoakum, and then to Danielle Rojas, who goes back to the middle to Hannah Armand, to Monroe. Now Rojas in the middle, being guarded and being knocked around a little bit there by a St. Mary's player from behind. And Tabor will get the ball back with a free kick. Wallace gets it off to Yoakum. Yoakum off to Armand. Not quite there, but Garrison steps in, picks it off to Simpson. Simpson now loses it to a St. Mary's forward. And now the forward comes up the sideline on the near side here, and she'll have to get by Wallace. And Wallace kicks it out, and it's a throw in to St. Mary's. St. Mary's player down on the field. Substitutions coming in for the Blue Jays. And it looks like it's number 27, Reina Soltero, 5'3", freshman midfielder from Fort Worth, Texas. Comes in on the near side, and I can't tell who came in on the other side yet. Long throw in by Tabor. Now it's cleared out by the Blue Jays. Foul on St. Mary's. And number 15, Taylor Drake, also in for Tabor. 5'1", sophomore from Overland Park, Kansas. She's had some concussion issues. Taylor had some concussion issues after a game last week or week before. And so it's good to see her back out there. Taylor Drake has moved. She was playing as a defender on that back row. Now they've moved her to midfielder forward position. So see if some of that speed of hers can help up front. Now Yoakum tries to get it towards goal. Blocked by a St. Mary's player. She goes down, slow to get up. I think she's okay. St. Mary's now bringing the ball back towards the Tabor defenders. Long ball up the sideline. Araceli is running on it. St. Mary's player runs in front, gets it towards the goal. Ball's kicked off of St. Mary's player, but Kayla Joseph right there to knock it long. St. Mary's now on the near side here, going down the sideline again. Simpson on defense, picks the ball off, looking to get it up the line, and it's knocked out of bounds by St. Mary's. I thought, no, it stayed in. Thought that was out. Ball's kicked into the goal area. A little bit dangerous there. Hannah Armand knocks it loose from St. Mary's. Ball's being booted around now. Long ball towards the goal. Ruby Ann comes up with it. So St. Mary's making a little bit of noise here in this. Since that first goal was scored on them, we're down underneath 20 minutes now in this first half. Most of the play has been dominated by Tabor. But St. Mary's making just a little bit of noise right here in this 20-minute mark. Could be Tabor's getting a little bit tired, and maybe that's why Coach Thompson did a little subbing there, and maybe looks like he's planning on doing some more. Allie Simpson now picks the ball up, gets it off to Yoakum, and she keeps it going to the middle, switching fields here. Now dropping it back and setting up the attack from the back. Off to Taylor Drake on the far side. She's dribbling in, gives Hannah like a handoff. You don't see that very often in soccer, but like a handoff in the midfield. Now Joseph brings it up the far side, looking for a corner. Tabor needs to move up. Ball slidden across the turf and picked up easily by the keeper. Great run by Joseph, just unable to get a good solid foot on that for a cross. Long punt for St. Mary's. It's kicked out of bounds. And it looks like it's I thought it was kicked out of bounds by St. Mary's, but they say St. Mary's throw. We got a substitution. Macy Dara now comes in for Courtney Yoakum. Macy Dara, number 3, 5'2" freshman midfielder from Wichita, Kansas. Played her soccer at the Classical School. Nice throw in there, and Macy Dara now trying to get it towards the middle of the field. Knocked out by St. Mary's. Tabor throw again. Throw into Soltero. I asked Raina today if I'm messing up her pronunciation, and she said, "How do you say it?" And I said Soltero, and she said, "Yeah, that works." And I said, "Well, how would you say it?" And she said Soltero. And I said, "Okay." We'll try that if I remember. Allie Simpson now on the throw. Sails over the head of Dara, but she's right on the ball, looking to steal it, but St. Mary's able to get away. Ball sails a little bit over Araceli. Now we got some trouble. Kayla Joseph comes over, knocks it out of bounds. So a great job by Kayla Joseph coming from the far side as a defender to pick up where the defense had kind of faltered there for a second. Nice job of stepping in behind. Must have been a foul called on that run and an advantage play, so a play on, and now we've got a free kick by St. Mary's, curling away from the goal. Now headed out by Tabor. St. Mary's contains, and now they'll set up and see if they can get something going from the backside here. Long kick towards goal again. Keeper comes out easily, picks it up. See if she can get a pretty good boot on this ball with a little bit of that southwest wind blowing here. Ball's kicked out long to way past midfield. Now one bounce and it's gone. Keeper comes out to pick that up, and a few more times of doing that, I think Tabor forwards ought to just start running. Now a punt from the keeper from St. Mary's goes out of bounds. The softball team does the ball duties. They do a great job of staying on top of it. Allie Simpson now with the throw again, goes down the sideline. Saltero off to Dara. Dara now going down the sideline. She's got good speed. She gets the ball almost, trying to get it towards the goal. That's not her dominant foot. The left, trying on the left side, not her dominant foot, and it gets about partway there, and the keeper picks it up. St. Mary's comes back the other way with it. Tabor doing a good job again of keeping St. Mary's pinned down in their end of the field. Great cross. Great switch there by St. Mary's. Now Tabor making the switch with St. Mary's. Ball's kicked down the line. It goes out of bounds. It'll be a Tabor throw. And Simpson's arms are going to be tired as much as she's thrown the ball in on this side. Number 14, Brianna Simpson now comes in. She's going to come in and play the forward position. No, she's not. She's coming in for Alexis Oliveras, but Reina Soltero goes and plays up front. Simpson will drop back into the midfield. Tabor running a 4-4-2. Jackie Hurtado, number 11, had also checked in a little bit ago, and we missed that. So Tabor playing a 4-4-2. Carla Monroe now comes up, kicks the ball away from St. Mary's. Now they get it back and cross it long to the far side. A great cross there by St. Mary's. Now kick it towards the middle. Ball is shot, but doesn't go anywhere. It's kind of bouncing around in a dangerous place. Shot now taken and not even close. The idea was there, but the foot didn't follow through. So Tabor being pressured a little bit now after the Tabor goal. At about the 31-minute mark, St. Mary's has picked up their game and has been putting a lot more pressure on Tabor. Ball's kicked long, now goes out of bounds on the far side. I'm not sure how that ball got all the way from the goal all the way down to almost the 20-yard line before anybody could touch it. Throw in far side for St. Mary's. Kayla Joseph kicks it out of bounds. St. Mary's moves up about 40 yards and will throw again. Hannah Armand putting pressure on at midfield. Now Carla Monroy picks it up and kicks it long ball up the sideline for St. Mary's. Defense is back. Ball's crossed into the keeper. She comes out quickly and picks it up. So once again, St. Mary's putting pressure on the Tabor defense, getting some decent looks inside. On that punt, it looked like Reina Soltero had a shoulder in on that punt. And Tabor now playing in their end of the field more than they're playing in St. Mary's end of the field. Carla Monroy with the head to knock the ball loose. Now let's see if Tabor can get something going here. Taylor Drake with the ball, looking to get past her defender. And she does down the sideline. Now loses it to her defender. And we're going to come back the other way. So Tabor kind of controlling the midfield in the first 25, 30 minutes of the game. Now it's slowly developed into dropping back, and St. Mary's is controlling. Araceli with the long boot. Goalie will come out. Play that. Gets it out wide on the far side of the field, and they'll bring their attack from the back. Switch fields there, now come back to the middle. Darros picks it off, gets it to Simpson. Now Simpson kicks long. Darrow now picks off another one, gets it to Bree Simpson. Bree to Armand. Armand now looking. Nowhere to go. She drops it to Hurtado. So Hurtado now has it. And she's looking again for somewhere to go. She's down the sideline looking for Darrow Long. And it's too much. Be a goal kick for St. Mary's. Clock winding down. We're now under the 10-minute mark. Tabor College women ahead 1-0. Ball's kicked long, headed by Bree Simpson to Allie Simpson. Now Bree picks it off again, gets it to Allie, so Simpson to Simpson. Now up front, Saltero looks to do something with it, and it's knocked out of bounds by St. Mary. Tabor throw again. Ball's thrown in now. Jackie Hurtado a little bit too aggressive there, knocks her player off the ball, and there'll be a foul called, and St. Mary's will have a free kick. Long ball up the field, way hanging in the air against that wind. St. Mary's comes up with it. Now they drop it back and will reset. St. Mary's looking for a long kick down the middle. They get it. Joseph is there to pick it off, kicks it out wide, gets it out of harm's way. Allows the defense to get back in position. Number 8, Kayla Matheny now coming in for Reina Saltero. Saltero's coming off limping a little bit, so I'm not exactly sure if she's hurt or got hurt out there or just her legs are sore. But she's going to come off and stretch a little bit.
Substitutions in for St. Mary, number 20, Emily Wilson. For the Blue Jays, number 8, Kayla Matheny.
Ball's knocked out of bounds by Matheny. St. Mary's now has a throw. The ball's 2 defenders on the ball over there on the far side. Now picked off by Joseph. Joseph gets it up towards Matheny, but picked off by St. Mary's. Hurtado now looks for a place to go. Kicks it long down the sideline for Taylor Drake. And the goalie comes all the way out to pick that up. Plays it with her feet back into the box and then picks it up. Punts it long. And Armand picks the ball off for Tabor. Looks for a through ball, doesn't get it. St. Mary's back line of defenders picks it off, and now they're coming the other way. Tabor defense back. Now Allie Simpson steps in front. She's done that several times today, just stepping in front. Now looks long down the sideline to the corner, knocked out of bounds by St. Mary's. Another throw in here for Allie Simpson. Allie looking for Matheny. Matheny unable to get a trap on that ball. Ball goes over the end line. It'll be a goal kick for Tabor. Armand putting pressure on the ball. Trying to keep it down in this end of the field. Now that gets kicked out. Jackie Hurtado making a run here and finally gets back and picks it off. Gets it off to Joseph. Joseph to Armand in the middle of the field. Armand looks long for Taylor Drake. But St. Mary's defense is back and they let the ball run out of bounds. It'll be a throw. Far side for St. Mary. So what looked to be pretty promising for the Blue Jays early on, scoring a goal in that first 25 minutes. It's kind of stalled out here in this last 25 minutes or 20 minutes, and so really nobody really captivating the play here at the moment, although Tabor is making a little run here. A headed ball by Armand towards the goal, picked up easily by the keeper, and she'll have a throw out to the far side here, or the near side. Dara doing a good job of putting pressure on in the defense, thinking that Armand's going to make a run. Kicks it right to the spot, but Armand had stopped, so St. Mary's picks it up easily, and they'll run it from the back row and look to attack coming up the far side. Ball's kicked to the middle of the field. Allie Simpson there to help slow it down. Now she drops back on defense. Jackie Hurtado picks it off, gets it to Dara. Dara now gets it to the middle of the field to Simpson. Now Simpson back to Hurtado, and Hurtado has time to look around, kicks it long. Headed by St. Mary. Now Armand comes up with it, gets it to Matheny. Matheny has nobody on her she can carry. Now she looks middle, picked off by St. Mary. Now Simpson steps in front, picks off, goes up to Dara. Dara with a nice trap. Looks to drop it back to Matheny. Matheny to Armand. Now Armand's going to look long for Dara. Stepped in front. Defender for St. Mary's just stepped in front. Had a nice touch on it. Just right at the defender. It was a good idea. Just got to find that open seam. Ball's kicked up long there. Sally Wallace Carmona comes over. Kicks it out of bounds. Substitution for St. Mary's. Number 24, Rachel Pletz, 5'7" sophomore from Gardner, Kansas, with the throw. Checked in and gets the throw right away. Throws it in down the line. Allie Simpson playing good defense. Ball's kicked out by Tabor, although something could have been called back here. It looks like it was. Foul was called. Less than 2 minutes to go in this first half. Foul called down in the corner here. It's the equivalent of a goal kick or equivalent of a corner kick. Ball's right on the end line. So Tabor going to have to do some good defending here to keep the ball out of the goal. Kicked right into the goal mouth. Nobody could get a foot on it for St. Mary's. Knocked out by Tabor. Matheny picks it up, and now it's kicked long. And it'll roll and roll and roll. And goalie comes all the way out from way from outside her goal and picks it up. Defender comes all the way from the back row, but Hannah Armand stays her ground, picks it off. Now Jackie Hurtado has it for a second. Now she loses it. Allie Simpson comes over and picks it off, gets it to Drake. Drake to Joseph, and Joseph back to Armand in the middle. Now Armand needs to kick it. Need to come out wide with it here. Looks for Dara, finds her out wide. Now Dara looking to get it back towards the middle. It's a great move. Now she just has to toe poke it to get it out of harm's way, or to try to get it to Matheny, but couldn't quite get it to her. Had a great move there, and then just the ball got away from her just a little bit further away than she wanted. Now St. Mary's makes a counterattack. Ball's crossed into the middle. Nobody there for St. Mary's. It's going all the way out. And that's going to be close to halftime by the time that ball's thrown in, because there's 20 seconds left, and I don't know if there's going to be any particular hurry to throw the ball in.
10, 9, 8,
Number 7, Irene De La Rosa, 5'5" freshman midfielder from Wichita, Kansas, was waiting to check in, and this was the only chance she got, so she got in for the last 10 seconds of the half, which was basically just a countdown. So that is the halftime here in Hillsboro at Reimer Field. Tabor College women up 1-0, 1-0 over the Spires from St. Mary's. We'll take a 15-minute break, and we'll be back. Welcome back to Hillsborough, Kansas, and a beautiful day here at Reimer Field as we get ready for the second half kickoff. Tabor College women ahead of the St. Mary's Spires 1-2 goal by Courtney Yoakum off an indirect kick. St. Mary's now will be going south to north today or this afternoon for the second half. The wind at their backs. Ruby Ann Fines, goalkeeper for Tabor College, will bring it out, and she'll punt into that wind, keeps it low towards the outside, picked off by Danny Rojas. For the Blue Jays, now knocked back to Allie Simpson. She's got to run that down to keep it from going over the goal line. She does. St. Mary's putting pressure on, wanting to keep Tabor down in this end. Unable to do so, out of bounds, and Tabor has a throw. Once again, Allie Simpson throwing in for Tabor. I don't know how many times she threw in first half, but it was a lot. Now out of bounds, and St. Mary's controls. Danny Rojas unable to keep that in bounds, and now the throw goes out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for Tabor. First half stats, there's 1 save, 1 goal against the keeper for St. Mary's, Emily Korenick, and 1 save. Ruby Ann Fines for Tabor, 2 saves. Both teams with 3 shots on goal, or shots on in the period. Tabor with 3 corner kicks, 4 fouls for St. Mary's, 5 fouls for Tabor. 1 save by St. Mary's, 2 saves by Tabor. That's about all the statistics that there are to report from that first half. Out of bounds again on the punt by Ruby Ann Fines, and the ball goes out, St. Mary's throw. So that first half was kind of a tale of 2 halves, so to speak. Tabor College controlling the action for most of that 25 minutes of that first half. And then St. Mary's, who had driven by a bus and had some bus trouble coming down here, finally kind of woke up and really started putting a lot of pressure on Tabor. Throw by St. Mary's, now gets it in, ball towards the middle of the field. Tabor trying to get it out of their end now. Ball's kicked towards the sideline. St. Mary's doing a good job of picking up loose balls. Ball's kicked out off the St. Mary's shin. Goal kick, I believe, coming for Tabor College. So once again, St. Mary's in this beginning stages of this second half, the ball is staying on Tabor's end of the field. Ball's kicked up to Hannah Armand. Hannah Armand gets it over to Yoakum. Yoakum tries to get it up the field to Allie Cubbin, or looks like Allie Cubbin, and then its ball's out of bounds. Now it's out of bounds. St. Mary throw in by Joseph on this near sideline. Ball's knocked out of bounds once again by St. Mary's. Joseph with another throw. Ball's thrown up to Garrison, now through ball, looking for Daniela Rojas. Now Joseph comes up with it, gets a ball on her foot, gets it up, tries to get it to Cubbin down the sideline, unable to do so. Now Tabor steals the ball, good job by Yoakum, gets it up to Cubbin. Now a give and go from Cubbin to Alexis Oliveras. Now knocked out of bounds by St. Mary's player. Tabor throw once again. So Tabor just kind of moving up this near sideline. Now has a throw in the far side, the near side for Tabor. Throws it long over Courtney Yoakum's head, but Alexis Oliveras picks it off. Tries to get it across inside. It's kicked out. St. Mary's able to control it. Carla Monroy plays it smart, just stays behind the defender, but now kicks it towards the corner. Yoakum comes and puts pressure on. They get the ball out of bounds again, throw in Tabor. Sometimes going against that wind can help you because that ball kind of holds up in the wind. You can kick it a little harder and it doesn't run near as far. Araceli Wallace, Carmona Wallace now gets called for being a little bit too physical. Free kick for St. Mary's. Long kick in, flicked with the head, goes over towards the goal, but outside of the goal mouth. Goalkeeper Ruby Ann Fines able to pick it up, and now she'll have a punt. Nice high kick this time, held up by the wind. Tabor controls it. Alexis Oliveros now looking for somewhere to go. Gets it out wide to Rojas. Rojas now looking down the line for Yoakum. Nice pass. 2-on-2 down here. Yoakum going towards the goal. Now hesitates. Gets knocked off the ball just a little bit. Back to Rojas. Now Rojas back to Yoakum. Now back to Rojas. Just not quite enough on it. Kicked out by St. Mary. Good idea there by Yoakum and Rojas. Just unable to pull it off. Ball's now passed into Rojas. Off the throw-in by Simpson. Simpson now looking down the line for Yoakum. Yoakum able to get past her defender. Now it's kicked towards the end line. Now kicked out of bounds, almost a corner for Tabor, but St. Mary's able to kick it out of bounds before it gets across the end line. Throw in once again for Simpson on the far side. Tabor going from north to south against that southwest breeze that's blowing. Throw in by Simpson, now kicked away by St. Mary. We're going to have a throw in again, almost at midfield by Simpson. Simpson now with the throw, gets it to Yoakum. Yoakum back to Rojas. Rojas looking to switch fields to Garrison. Now Garrison gets it in the middle, looking out wide to Cubbin. Cubbin almost had it, but it's picked off by St. Mary's. Now long kick by St. Mary's. The goalie will come out and pick that up easily. So I think St. Mary's is probably going to try that many times in this half for that long ball. Now the ball's kicked towards the sideline by the goalie. Now it's up to number 23, Justine Brown. Kicks it out wide. Now they're looking for a potential cross here. Simpson doing a good job of just staying on the ball. Now Rojas comes in and helps her out. Ball's kicked out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for Tabor, I believe. St. Mary's had a good opportunity right there to do something and just never got the ball in front of the goal. Kayla Joseph now heads the ball away from the goal. Now St. Mary's picks it up. Carla Monroy now trying to get it away from the defenders. Now kick towards the goal. Ruby Ann is right there in the right spot to pick it up easily for Tabor College. Darian Garrison now for the Blue Jays, kicks it up towards the front line. Long kick by St. Mary's, St. Mary's player cannot come up with it, kicked way over her head or way long, and then with that wind, you've got to have a lot more touch. Goal kick now with Garrison running onto it, drops it back to Simpson. Now Simpson up to Rojas. Rojas gets past one defender, now brings it to the middle of the field, kicks long towards Yoakum. Yoakum controls it now off to Alexis Oliveras. St. Mary's steps in, picks it off. Now Garrison will have it and looking for somewhere to go with it. Gets it off to Cubbin. Cubbin now gets it out wide, it looks like, to Rojas again. Now Rojas, with nobody on her, can carry. Gets it off to Armand. Now Armand looks long towards Cubbin again. Cubbin makes a good move. Gets it past one defender and kicks it through one other defender, but there's going to be an obstruction or something there from the St. Mary's player to allow Tabor to get a free kick. Didn't exactly see what happened there, but Allie Cubbin making a nice move inside. Looks like another indirect kick right here. Garrison steps over it, gets it to Yoakum. Yoakum beats one defender, tries to beat another, now gets it towards the goal mouth. Now Alexis Oliveras kicks it off the goalie. Goal! Tabor College, Alexis Oliveras picking up the loose ball off the goalie's hands, goes into the net. Great job by Tabor College. Once again, Tabor College just taking advantage of the opportunities that are there. 33 minutes left in this second half. Second goal by Tabor College women, 2-0. That was kind of interesting how that all transpired. To kick off now for St. Mary's. Tabor looking to add to their lead. Rojas with the ball on the far side. So Alexis Oliveras kind of picked up a deflected ball headed towards the goal and she's got such strong legs and a strong foot, and was able to quickly pounce on that loose ball and get a kickoff right at the goalie and hit pretty hard, and it just goalie was unable to hold on to that. It went almost basically through her hands. It was high, and it went through her hands and into the goal. Two goals now for the Tabor College women, looking to go to 5-1 in the conference, 6-4 overall. Long ball by Hannah Armand in the middle. St. Mary's players kicking long, ball goes out of bounds. Goal kick for Tabor. Handball called this time. Looked inadvertent, but it didn't matter. The center official called handball. Dangerous position for that ball to be at. Now that's about where Tabor scored from in the first half, off an indirect kick. So here we've got another indirect. Tabor sets up a three-person wall, dropping the official dropping them back to the 10-yard mark. Now Tabor puts another person in that wall, but this is a dangerous spot to be right here. They do not kick towards goal, but run a play where the ball is kicked out wide, and then looks like number 10, not a number 10 on the roster, maybe number 11, kicks it wide of the goal. Ruby Ann Fines will now have, that was number 14, kicked wide for St. Mary's. Paige Nagy, 5'6" senior. That turf monster catches the cleats of Hannah Armand right there, and she goes down and comes up limping just a little bit. But I know how tough she is, and so that won't stop her. Now St. Mary's in a dangerous position again. Kicks it towards goal. They'll get a corner out of this one off of Araceli. First corner of the game coming up at, I believe, for St. Mary's. I don't remember them having a corner kick in the first half at all. And so let's see what they can do with this. And looks like nothing became of that. And so Ruby Ann Fines gets it out quickly to Kayla Joseph. Knocked out of bounds by St. Mary's. Coach Thompson giving Joseph some instructions right in front of him. And here's the throw by Kayla off Hannah Armand's head. Now Cubbin comes back. Joseph tries to get it by her defender. Defender picks it off. Number 19 for St. Mary's gets it out wide. Allie Simpson runs onto it, and foul is called, or a handball was called by the linesman. It should be Tabor's ball here at, in front of the goal, about the 10-yard line. Wallace with the free kick. Kicks it straight up the field to Armand. Armand beats one player. Nobody on her. Takes it upfield. Looks long for Cubbin. Defenders have about a 10-yard lead on Cubbin, and so ball just gets too far forward. Ball's kicked long now. Monroe's traps it. Looks upfield. Wilhoit for St. Mary's called for the foul. Free kick by Tabor. Joseph off to Armand. Armand now gets to the center of the field. Looking for Rojas. Rojas going, tried to go long. Got held up there by a defender. Simpson now steps in front, gets it to Armand. Armand off to Yoakum. Now Yoakum carries, gets it out wide to Joseph. Joseph now looking to get it up the line to Cubbin. Unable to do so. St. Mary's picks it off. But Yoakum steps in front. Now Cubbin tries to get it to up the field to Oliveris. Oliveris comes in front, gets it. Jukes one player, now drops it back to Yoakum. Yoakum looks long. Ball gets up in the air. Rojas drops it off to Armand. Now Armand looking to beat a defender. Gets pulled down. No call. Armand slow to get up. Garrison picks it off to Simpson. Now Simpson to Yoakum. Handball by Simpson. That ball just, with this, if that ball gets up into the wind, it bounces funny, and you never know where it's going to end up. I've seen quite a few handballs. Free kick by St. Mary's, picked off by Armand. Yoakum comes back to help. Long shot by St. Mary's, number 9. From quite a ways out, but it's a good shot. Just a way high. Megan McMillan, 5'6" sophomore from Cerritos, California. Hits it way over through the goalpost, it looked like from here, but it's hard to tell. Macy Dara now subbing in for Hannah Armand, giving Hannah Armand a break. Macy Dara now stepping into Armand's role in midfield along with Courtney Yoakum. Carla Monroy now trying to get it upfield. Picked off by St. Mary's. Cubbin hustles back. Knocks it out of bounds. It'll be a St. Mary's throw.
Number 8, Megan Fletcher. For Tabor, number 3, Macy Dara.
Kayla Joseph now has the ball for Tabor. Tries to get out of the corner, but the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw for St. Mary's. Throw it in the corner. Joseph right on the player from St. Mary's. Now Dara comes over to help. Ball's knocked out of bounds, and it'll be a corner for St. Mary's. So last time St. Mary's had a corner, they didn't really do much with it. We'll see what they do this time. Perfect setup with the right foot and an in-swinger ball here for St. Mary's. Great ball kicked right in, unable to be picked up by the goalie off Ruby Ann's hands, and the ball goes into the net for St. Mary's. So St. Mary's picks up a goal here on the corner. Kick was just perfect. Ruby would have had to punch it out at best. It was just a little bit too high for her to get a grip on it, and that's something that's pretty tough in women's soccer at this level when you've got a 5'4" goalkeeper. When that ball gets to sailing in the air like that, that's a tough play for any goalie. Official coming over to talk to the coach from St. Mary's about something. We're not even sure exactly what it is, but and I couldn't tell who scored that goal for St. Mary's. Number 21 comes into the game for St. Mary's. Number 5 comes out. I think there must have been she must have some kind of an injury or something that she needs to come out and get attended to. Kickoff by Tabor now. Leading only 2-1 now in this game, in this soccer contest, with 24 minutes left in this half. Simpson now from the far side running the ball down, kicks it out. She'll let Tabor reset their defense. Quick throw in by St. Mary's. Ball's knocked away. Yoakum comes up with it, gets it stolen, and Garrison picks it up, kicks it off to Rojas. Rojas unable to control it. Ball's kicked out now by St. Mary's. We'll go back the other way. So 2-0, you feel pretty safe with a 2-0 lead, and now you got 2-1. Makes things a little bit more interesting now for this rest of this contest. Araceli now gets it up to Dara. Dara looking to get it back to Joseph. Now Joseph up to Cubbin. A little bit off the mark. Cubbin picks it up anyway, gets it to Alexis Oliveras, who cannot get control of it. The defender steps in. Now Alexis steps through the ball, and now St. Mary's will reset their attack from the back line. Simpson steps in front. St. Mary's gets it back. 3 people on the ball. 3 white shirts on the ball, and a foul called on Tabor. So Yoakum and Rojas were over there defending. Both of them on the ball. Stole it, but it was foul was called on one of them. Header by Simpson to get the ball away from danger. Picked up by St. Mary's, now kicked out of bounds off of St. Mary's by Rojas. Nice job by Rojas to kick it off of the defender and get it out of bounds. Simpson with a throw from the far side. Tabor needing to get their ball out of their end. Yoakum has it now. Kicks it back to Simpson. Simpson going to switch fields, gets it to Araceli. Now Araceli looking to get up the field with it. Gets it to Oliveras for a second. St. Mary's picks it off now. A couple headers by Tabor back to Oliveras. Oliveras to Yoakum. Yoakum looking to get it through ball to Dara. Dara now out wide. I thought she was going out wide, but she goes up the field to Oliveras, but picked off by St. Mary's. Now Rojas picks off St. Mary's kick, and she'll bring it upfield. Gets it off to Yoakum. Ball gets past Yoakum. Picked off by St. Mary's. Now St. Mary's coming back quickly. Tabor defense is back ready and waiting. Little 1-2 ball for St. Mary's. Ball runs over the end line. Be a goal kick for Tabor. Goalie for Tabor set up to kick. Ball's kicked out. Yoakum tries to head it, tries to flick it on. Unable to do so. St. Mary's comes up with it. Nowhere to go with it, so they back it out and try it again. Now Monroe picks off the kick that came in towards the goal. Now Simpson has it. But St. Mary's steps in front of her kick. Now we've got another corner coming up for St. Mary's. St. Mary's 1 for 1 on corners. Only had one corner and they converted on it, so hopefully with this one being more of an outswinger than an in-swinger, won't be quite as dangerous. Corner upcoming. Knocked away by Tabor. Man, it's coming right back in from that corner spot. Now Selly gets her head on it. Now the ball's knocked back off the uprights, actually off the football goalpost right above the soccer goalpost. So St. Mary's had an excellent opportunity to score again right there off of the residual of a corner. Now Hannah Armand comes back in and Courtney Yoakum will go out. Ball's kicked up to Tabor's at control in midfield. Oliveris off to Rojas. Rojas looking. Gets it to Dara in the midfield. Dara's got someone coming on her back. Loses it to St. Mary's. Now fighting to get it back. St. Mary's drops it back to their back row. Now Garrison steps in front. But St. Mary's able to pick that off, but kick it out of bounds. So a little bit of kickball going on right now for both teams. Coaches are both kind of telling their players to settle down a little bit and be smart. Throw in by Simpson for Tabor goes at St. Mary's. St. Mary's on the far side now looking to get past the defender. Two defenders down there on the ball. Looks like Simpson's going to come away with it. But the linesman's waving his flag, so I'm not sure what that means, but looks like it'll be Tabor's ball. Ball's kicked from the corner out of bounds. St. Mary's with the throw. Quickly gets it back in. Down in the corner. Simpson now playing defense down there, and the ball's crossed in front right to the goalie. Nobody really making a run for St. Mary's. Good kick by Fines. Gets it out to midfield. Picked off there by Hannah Armand, but quickly stolen back by St. Mary's. So Tabor unable to keep control of the ball for any length of time right now. Now kicked out of bounds. And St. Mary's will have a throw again. So Tabor just unable to do anything to get a run going here in this part of the game. A little bit like the first half where they kind of went into a lull and didn't really come out of it until they scored their second goal. Now they're having that same lull right now. St. Mary's seems to be stepping in front of all of our passes, and we're usually going the wrong direction. Now ball's kicked in towards the goal again, knocked out by Simpson. Another corner coming for the Spires. Tabor setting up their defense for the corner kick. Marking up. Ball's kicked in towards the goal again. Missed by one player, but St. Mary's player had a great opportunity right there, and the ball was kicked and went the opposite way. So Tabor escapes. Once again, a dangerous, potentially dangerous play there, or a potentially dangerous goal. Reina Soltero now checks in for Tabor up front. Alexis Oliveras comes out. Goal kick from the keeper. Unable to be controlled by anybody. There's a foul call, though, and looks like a free kick once again for St. Mary's. So St. Mary's right now keeping the ball down in Tabor's part of the field. Dangerous kick coming. Ball did not curve at all right there by number 9 for St. Mary's, Megan McMillan, 5'6" sophomore from California. Had no turn on it at all, and didn't. Nobody was close to getting a head or a foot on that ball. Another goal kick here by Ruby Ann Fine. Substitutions in for St. Mary's. Number 5 comes back into the game. Amanda Martin, 5'6" sophomore from Tonganoxie. And number 24, Rachel Pletz. Ball's on that far side again. Allie Simpson able to kick it out of bounds. Throw in for St. Mary's. Ball's thrown back towards the back line now. Kicked towards the middle. Flicked on towards the corner, and Tabor will let that ride. Goal kick again. Two-to-one lead by the Tabor College Women Blue Jays here today at Reimer Field. 14:26 left in this second half. St. Mary's is keeping the pressure on Tabor College. Taylor Drake now coming in for Danny Rojas. Taylor Drake, number 15 on the far side of the field. 5'1" sophomore from Overland Park, Kansas. Goal kick picked up by St. Mary's. Now they're coming on looking to create some action again. Ball's kicked out towards the goal, goes past. Foul called on Carla Monroy. There's going to be another chance here for St. Mary's. Tabor setting up their wall, and this shot here from 25 yards out, direct kick. Goalkeeper Ruby Ann Fine setting up her wall. We'll see what happens here. Kick straight towards the goal, goes through the uprights way high, and another missed opportunity by St. Mary. Number 18 for St. Mary's, Natasha Webster, 5'7" sophomore from Bonners Ferry, Idaho, checking into the game. Brianna Simpson now set to check in for the Blue Jays. Goal kick comes out. St. Mary's controls again, so Tabor just unable to control any action right now. Now we get the ball out to Dara. Hannah Armand to Dara. Now Cubbin loses it back to St. Mary's. Dara picks up the loose ball, looking for somewhere to go. Cubbin needs to make a run or get up the field. Now she beats one or two defenders, goes down. St. Mary's picks it up, gets control of the ball back again. Long ball from St. Mary's player. Goalie comes out and picks it up easily. That's when we start watching that clock. 12 minutes left. High ball, high punt from Ruby Ann. Cubbin able to get it to Armand. Armand tries to get it deep to Soltero. Knocked out of bounds by, or not out of bounds. Cubbin picks it up, but knocked out of bounds now by St. Mary's. Cubbin tried to make a run. For whatever reason, that ball was determined by the linesman to go out on Tabor. Now Dara picks it up, looking for somewhere to go. Goes to the middle of the field. Ball's picked up. Soltero didn't get back quick enough. Now Dara again. Dara finds Cubbin. Cubbin now gets the ball past one defender. Now goes to the middle of the field to Armand. Armand looking, gets past her defender. Great move by Hannah Armand. Now long ball by Armand. Over the keeper and just over the bar, the crossbar. Awesome play there by Hannah Armand. Looked like she might get a roofer there. Brianna Simpson now coming in for Darian Garrison, subbing in. Brianna Simpson, number 14, 5'8", sophomore from Timnath, Colorado. Courtney Yoakum off the bench, getting ready to check in for the Blue Jays. So that time Tabor College made probably the best run they've made this half, and at least in the last 20 minutes or since they scored their second goal. Dara in the right place at the right time again, picks off the ball, gets it out wide to Cubbin. Cubbin loses it for a second to St. Mary's. Now back to Dara. Dara looking to go somewhere with it, takes it to the middle of the field. Gets it to Taylor Drake, but Taylor loses it directly to number 4 for St. Mary's, Bailey Zinzer. Drake hustling but unable to pick the ball back up. Now St. Mary's has it out wide again. Simpson looking to deflect that ball. Now Dara comes up strong. Makes her girl cross all the way across the field and drop it back. Now another foul called on Tabor College. I guess any touch out there is a foul today. Tabor setting up a small wall again. The ball's at the 20-yard line, so it'd be a 30 yards out from the goal. Number 14 for St. Mary's set to kick. Paige Nagy kicks it towards the goal right at the keeper. Great job by Ruby Ann Fines to pick that up. You never know what those bounces are going to do. Clock winding down. Tabor College still winning this contest 2-1. Tabor controlling the ball right now. Now loses it. Simpson loses it to St. Mary's. Now Dara picks up the loose ball, gets it out wide to Cubbin. Cubbin continue the pass out wide to Reina Soltero, and Soltero running it down, but kicked out of bounds. Great job by Reina to get down there. Substitution, Courtney Yoakum will now check back into the game, but Reina Soltero running hard and making St. Mary kick it out of bounds. Throw in for Tabor. Kayla Joseph will throw in for Tabor. Tries to get it to Reina, does. Now Reina looking to get it to Dara. Dara taking it towards goal. Just can't get it away for a second, but now Kayla Joseph comes up and tries to get it back to Dara, but unable to. Tabor keeping the pressure on now. Carla Monroe drops it back to Araceli Carmona Wallace now. Yoakum to Hannah Armand. Handball called. The ball just, if you don't trap that thing right away, it just bounces right up and into your hands. Still 7:45 left in this contest. Long kick here coming from St. Mary. Decided to go short with it. Tabor dropped everybody back. Another shot right at the keeper, so St. Mary's putting some pressure on Tabor in terms of shots on goal. That one there, Ruby Ann was in the right place at the right time again. Fines with the kick. It's high and it's not going anywhere. Tabor's going to have to come back and try to get something on that, and it's kicked out of bounds. Joseph with the throw. So Tabor looks like they've got a little bit of life in them here all of a sudden here in this last 10 minutes. Finally putting a little pressure on St. Mary's. Now Simpson gets the ball out wide, lets it go to Drake. Drake drops it back to Simpson. Simpson now brings it up with nobody on her. Goes past her defender. Looking up the line. Perfect. Oh, just knocked off her defender. So she had Soltero going down the line, but the defender from St. Mary's stepped right in front of that ball. Looked like we might have something going there, but knocked out of bounds by St. Mary's. And now Drake with the throw from the far side. Gets it to Yoakum. Yoakum taps it towards Soltero. Now knocked out. Carla Monroy now kicks it long, looking for somebody in a white shirt. Now Dara comes up with the ball in the middle of the field. Kicks it long outside to Yoakum. Now Yoakum goes towards the middle to Soltero. Nobody there, but Drake coming out from the midfield. Drake coming on. Almost had a chance to get a foot on that ball. Foul, or not a foul call. That may be a handball called there. Goal kick by St. Mary's. Great job by Simpson to get her head on the ball. Or Armand, I mean. Armand with the header. Off to Yoakum. Now Yoakum drops it back to Armand. And we've got a timeout on the field. Yellow card coming out for, I believe, number 5 for St. Mary's. Oh. Yellow card was given to the Tabor player, number 21, Courtney Yoakum with the yellow. Number 17 for St. Mary's set to check in. Tabor drops back in their defensive mode for the free kick. Ball's off a shoulder there. Taylor Drake runs on. Picks it off. She's beat her defender. She's running downfield now. Soltero's coming over to help out. Now kicked out of bounds by St. Mary's. That's kicked out of bounds. Thought it was kicked out of bounds by St. Mary's, but they're calling it off of Tabor. Number 17 for the Spires. Mary Sitkowski comes back in. 5'9" senior from Centennial, Colorado. Throw in by St. Mary's. Knocked out of bounds by Tabor. It'll be a St. Mary's throw. Zetkowski with the ball. Passes off to the wing on the outside. St. Mary's trying to get the ball up the sideline, and the ball goes out of bounds. Clock continuing to count down. We're now down to the 4-minute mark. Throw in. Tabor College comes up with it. Hannah Armand now will switch fields. Gets it to Dara in the close to midfield. Dara knocks it to Yoakum. Yoakum now looking to get up the field to Simpson. Simpson, nobody on her now. Will kick the ball towards Soltero. Soltero can run on it, but the goalie comes out. Good try there by Tabor College. Good through ball by Simpson. Long punt by St. Mary's. Joseph runs past it. You got to trap that ball on the ground. You can't let it hit. You got to figure out a way to keep it from bouncing because it'll bounce high. Looked like a handball there by St. Mary's. No call. No call again by the official when players are dropping all over. Now a header towards the goal. Ruby Ann Fines picks it up easily for Tabor College. Big kick by Fines. Gets it up to St. Mary's player. Saltero drops back for it. Gets it off to Joseph. Joseph now should come out wide with it to Darrow, which she does. Now Darrow beats one player or tries to, but doesn't get it. But Yoakum able to pick it up. Now a long kick up, picked off by St. Mary's. Kicked long, and Armand will try to control it here for a second, although she doesn't. Drake now picks it up, and Simpson for the Blue Jays. Now long kick towards goal, goes sailing over everywhere. And we've got substitutions for Tabor. Allie Cubbin, number 6, coming back into the game. And number 7 for St. Mary's, Kendall Lilly, also back in the game. Both teams showing a little bit of more spirited action here in this last 10-15 minutes of play. Goal kick by Tabor, knocked away. Simpson runs it down, knocks it towards the sideline. It'll go out of bounds, throw in for St. Mary's. Throw in from St. Mary's, kicked out towards St. Mary's, but then controlled by St. Mary's, knocked out of bounds again by Tabor. So Tabor playing a little boot ball right now with 1 minute and 45 seconds left in this contest. They're trying to hold on to the 2-1 lead and not wanting to give up a goal. Another shot on goal, finds off her shins. It'll be a corner kick for St. Mary's here, running down to our last minute and a half of play. St. Mary's not wasting a lot of time. A little kick in the corner, brings it towards goal. Kicks it right at Armand. Armand boots it long. St. Mary's tries to get it back in, and Armand heads it long now. Saltero runs on it, looking to kick it long towards Cubbin for Tabor. The goalie's out, but the defender comes up and knocks it away just at the last second. Cubbin had a chance just to flick that thing or to try to punch that thing over the goalie. Goalie was way out of position. Now Dara picks it up in midfield. Stolen right back by St. Mary's. St. Mary's drops it back. Long kick towards Tabor's goal. Armand runs it down, kicks it out of bounds. We're getting down under 30 seconds now. Our St. Mary's is making one last ditch effort here now. Long ball by Araceli. Cubbin lets it, or Saltero lets it go. Monroe is making a run through. Kind of a strange time in the game to do it. Now long ball by Yoakum. And this game is going to be over. Araceli comes up, kicks the ball away, and Tabor College is going to come away with a 1-0 win over St. Mary of Leavenworth. Lots of spirited play. Finally, Tabor College got a little bit excited after St. Mary's scored their 1 goal. To get within 1 goal, things got a little bit more spirited from both sides, and Tabor College had to pick up their slack a little bit. And looks sometimes that happens when you've got a 2-0 lead. Sometimes you let up and kind of play defensive. Tabor College then got after it here in the last 20 minutes. Scored, had a chance to score another goal. That's going to be it for this broadcast. The next game for the Blue Jays coming up October 10 at Kansas Wesleyan University, 5-7 in Salina, Kansas. We've got a women-only game October 13 versus Central Christian College, and then October 16 at home against Bethany College. Also 5 and 7:30 game times. Unfortunately, this machine that I'm working with here, the equipment will have to go over to the gymnasium for a home volleyball match, and so there will not be a men's broadcast today. If you're out there waiting to listen to the men as well, that won't happen today, and not until we find another machine like this to help us out. It won't happen this time. So once again, Tabor women, Tabor women win 2-1 over St. Mary Spires to go 6-4 overall and 5-1 in the conference. Thanks for listening. That's it from Hillsboro, Kansas and Reimer Field.